Hello there, my name is Matt and I'm the developer of RPG Tycoon, and this is the 1.3 walkthrough update. Now there's not a huge amount of stuff. These are, as you know, the last ones have been. It's lots of little incremental stuff I've been adding, but there is some cool stuff that I think a lot of you will really like. One's feature specifically that should be quite enjoyable. The majority of this update is bug fixes and optimization. I mean, optimization is kind of the key of something I've been doing. Because there's a lot of code that was left over from like when I first started on the game, and it was a little bit messy and it was causing problems for some people. So I've tried really hard to fix that, and actually in doing so, it's made certain areas of the game balance differently, which is interesting. So I'll run through one of the main new features from a sense of gameplay. I would recommend just reading the patch notes to understand all the optimizations and stuff, because there's quite a lot of little things I've changed and a lot of the bugs and stuff. Majority of things has been some of the stuff that was also implemented with the last update with the new save system. I've tweaked a few things there as well. But again, a lot of it's just improving optimization. For instance, there's some pathfinding stuff that I've fixed. They used to look ahead literally every step, basically, to make sure that you weren't placing stuff in front of them and then they'd walk around it, and I've just improved that slightly to make it a bit more efficient. And some of the object management stuff as well to be more efficient, and hopefully should cause a lot less problems for people. So yeah, I mean, again, it's a lot of edge case stuff, but some players, you know, once you hit into that, it then causes bigger issues. So thank you again to everyone sending files and reporting things. I couldn't help fix things, and obviously I want everybody to have the best experience. So anyway, I'll shut up and show you new stuff, because I'm sure that's what actually most of you watch this video for. So this is a brand new thing, which is very cool, and it's called Survival Mode. And for the players that basically don't think RPG Tycoon is hard enough, or they're not happy with, you know, they don't think there's enough of a challenge there, what this does is mean that if you get to the end of a year and the AI has more points than you get game over. And it has an interesting challenge, because it means you have to play slightly differently, and you're constantly trying to make more money and try and beat out the AI. I've also added a bit of balance in, so we'll see how long this lasts. I'll probably just skip through and actually try to fail, just to show you what happens when you lose. Otherwise, I don't really want this video to be a ridiculously long one. But I've just opened the build menu and a new thing has happened. You might notice, if you're not new to the game and you've been playing for a while, you might know this looks a bit different. And actually, if you've been playing for a very long time, it looks a lot like the original build menu did, but a lot cleaner and nicer. And the reason for that is I went back and watched one of my old videos, and I looked at the build menu and I was like, actually, that. Like, I thought about it for a while and I was like, that looks really how it probably should. I just needed to clean it up and make it more efficient from a sense of conveying information. And hopefully this is a lot better at telling you what stuff is than the old one was. For instance, just having this of like unlocks at Kingdom level 2 it is really useful. And you can see, you know, from a get-go what the thing is, what sort of additional what type it is, and kind of some bonus stuff, and the size and the upkeep and cost and so on. Yeah, it's just one of those things that I really wanted to do. There is a kind of additional reason I wanted to do this. I needed more space for some stuff that I might add in the future. So that was really the driving force for doing this. But hopefully a lot of you will find this a lot easier to use. There's also now a tools thing. I've just moved them into here. And yeah, we've got like icons to separate things. Roads are now in their own space. There's some stuff in here as well that I'll come back to in a second. But let's place down the hero quarters. So yeah, you can view through things, and you can also then select, and the thing that you've got selected will remain selected unless you obviously click through. So it's just a more user-friendly, hopefully, experience. And levels, you can now sort by level. So the stuff that's really high level will now be at the top if you sort through. Previously, if you had a sort thing, it would only sort one way. That's now fixed, and it will now sort both ways. So if you have cost, it will have cheapest, and you just click it as many times as you want, you know, to flick between the two different types of sorting. So it goes, you know, A to Z and then Z to A. And so that's you know, up-down sorting efficiency stuff that hopefully people will enjoy. Again, it's just I've constantly, you know, listening to your feedback and trying to make your experience better, and this is one of those, and hopefully the build menu now makes a lot more sense. Yeah, so again, just kind of performance optimizations and stuff. Menus now kind of hang around in memory, so some stuff it is easier. It was constantly kind of drawing and redrawing things, and that was causing problems. And again, I won't get too technical. Read the patch notes if you want to see what really has changed. But yeah, so one of the other things is, well, from a balance perspective, is that AI is now handling some things differently. I've tweaked the AI a bit to make them work better. There was some bugs that I didn't even notice actually were occurring in the background when they first initially launched. So I've tweaked a lot of that as well. But yeah, it should just be a more user-friendly experience from this point, especially through the iterations since launch. But yeah, if you want buildings now, you can just go straight up into the let's go back to, I think it was, yeah, okay. You can go back into this menu, and I want it to kind of be sorted by name more than anything else, really. Okay, so let's get a dirt road. There we go. Okay. Now, one of the cool things that's an addition to this, I'll get it on fast forward because I want to show you the effects of AI. Oh yeah, I should probably instigate AI. So you have to go on a quest, or once you hit the 6th month period, the AI kingdoms. So you have like a little bit of grace period before the AI kingdoms kick in, but there's now a cutoff point. You used to be able to like essentially, if I sat here and did not ever go on a quick quest, the AI would never start. But with survival mode, I kind of needed that to change. So that is now no longer a thing. And after 6 months, if you still haven't been on a quest, the AI will kick in and start simulating. So it's a small change, but it'll make a difference score-wise and balance-wise as well. Yeah, right. So are there other major things? Let me just quickly. I've got a list of all this sort of stuff. I mean, again, a lot of it's all just slightly improved stuff. There is one heavy feature I've been kind of avoiding talking about for now, but because I kind of want this to end. I'll show you this off. Actually, yeah, we'll just do another quest and we'll just keep going until it kicks us out. Hopefully, actually, I don't want to do that. Let's fast forward and get to the point where I'm just gonna sit here and fast forward. So I'll skip ahead in the video. Okay, so just finished, and Galifloria has beat me, and because we're on survival mode, that should be game over. And so it tells you basically that how long you've lasted. So the whole idea for survival mode is essentially you have got to keep going and see if you can reach the end without being kicked off the top spot by the AI. So it just adds a different strategy of gameplay, and you just got to constantly try and keep yourself ahead points wise, and doing all you can to do that. So it's a bit more of a challenge, and yeah, for some players that might want that, that's now a feature. So that is survival mode and a new addition to 1.3. Finally, I'm just going to show you this new thing. One of the heavily requested things from players is the introduction of floor tiles. As you can see straight here, we now have I've now implemented a system where you can place tiles underneath buildings and items and stuff, and build on them as well. So you can, if you see this icon, that basically means that it's a tile, and you can pick. I mean, I've tried to make it as obvious as possible, but there's all of these new different types, and obviously you have the base terrain types. So if you don't like one, you can then go back and replace it. So for instance, if I want these to go away, you can just do that, and then it goes back to what it normally was. But it means that you can combine the different terrain types, and also, for instance, so we've got this sandcastle that's sitting here, and for instance, so if I then go, okay, well, I want that to actually sit on some sand, I can just place some sand down, and it's now on some sand. So you get this nice little, you can do some nice things. Obviously, I'm not as creative as many of you probably are, but if I want these to be sitting on white based tiles, then I can do that. And the upside is it's also all part of the modding system that already exists in the game. You just have to define the building as a floor type, and that will or the tile as a floor type. I haven't checked if I mean, I know how the system works, so it should be perfectly fine. You could probably create multiple sized tiles and have possibly bigger patterns on the floor if you wanted a big style things. I haven't tried that. I might work on that on maybe, you know, a content update in the future, for like rugs or something. I don't know if you wanted to place a rug down on the kingdom, but from a sense of designing your kingdom, you know, it lets you do some nice stuff because you can place interesting differences of tiles. So let's say I want this to sit on a more kind of brown texture, then I can do that. So for those of you that like decorating your kingdom and want to have stuff sitting on different things, you can also still place, you know, walls down and put tiles on things, so it doesn't stop you building anything. It's just a separate layer underneath the main things. And again, you can't like right click and delete stuff because it's not considered a building. It's just considered a terrain type. So again, if you want to just swap stuff back, all you have to do is just paint over it essentially. So it's kind of similar to how the paint tools would work in like Roller Coaster Tycoon or something similar like that. So yeah, I don't know. It's for me. I think it's quite a cool feature, and I'll try and expand these as we go along. But from a sense of modding, it should open up a lot of you. And it was really a main question that a lot of the modders of the game were asking for. So you know, as a feature standpoint, I figured it out fortunately, and it should be a nice way for you to vary your kingdom up. So hopefully that appeals. But yeah, that's more or less it from the 1.3 side of things. One of the things that I do want to do is add more content. I'm probably going to do that as an individual pack. But yeah, that's the majority of stuff. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. And I try to think if there's anything else, but I don't think there is. So let me know what you think. And yeah, until next time, I guess I'll see you again very soon. Thank you. Bye.